Otherworld Computing is a company that is dedicated to enhancing and accelerating and ultimately providing reliable connectivity and storage solutions for everything A to Z. From backup to the most complex production workflows, our solutions really, they get it done. They just work.
Why did you start the company?
There was a real gap. There was a gap in support in certain areas that I felt were neglected personally for my own needs. And ultimately, it was an opportunity to take more from technology. I shouldn't say take more. Allow technology really to give more. We already had it, but why can't we do more with it? And that was the very beginning of Otherworld Computing.
Let's start with the most interesting stuff. What's new at the show?
At the show, we've got our new Thunderbolt 5 solutions. That includes our X12, which I'll try to bring over and briefly show
you
here.
have a demo here? Look at that.
Yeah, look at this guy. This is quite a beast. It's up to 96 terabytes of NVMe storage, high speed. It's the first solution that will saturate and maintain saturation of the Thunderbolt 5 bus. So we're talking over 6,000 megabytes a second, read and write sustained. So this is really good if you have multiple X12s, you need to have multiple copies of a data set, be able to duplicate data very quickly, be able to ingest data faster than pretty much anything out there in the world today currently provides and sustained read rates. And even for live editing, this is a tool that it's without compare today, but it's up to 96 terabytes. It's going to be shipping this month. It starts at $24.99, and it's another addition to our very popular Thunderblade line. So,
well, I've been a fan of Thunderblade for a long time, but not the big brother like this, the smaller one. I've always wondered about the long-term safety of my data on an SSD compared to a hard drive. Which is better for long-term? By long-term, I mean 3 years or 5 years, not 50 years, but longer-term storage. Am I going to lose it on an SSD? It's just going to fade away, or is it better on an HDD, or where do I put it?
If you're talking for cold storage archiving, or are you talking about ongoing use?
Let's do both. Let's do cold storage first.
Sure. Cold storage, we've not seen it, but there is the risk of long-term data loss in the long term on an SSD that's just unpowered. It's theoretical. I shouldn't say it's theoretical. It's hypothetical. There's math around it, but there's a lot of error correction that should prevent that. If you sit a drive cold for 5 years, and that actually even comes up to a hard drive. Hard drives you should be spinning up at least once a year. You should be energizing an SSD at least once a year. And depending upon the right load, all of our drives are using high-endurance flash relative to a lot of the less expensive stuff that's out there.
High endurance meaning?
Meaning from a terabytes written perspective, you really have to pound the living daylights out of these solutions to get anywhere near their flash life. And that would be 5, 6, 10 years. So in terms of reliability between a hard drive and an SSD, as actually if we're talking through this, as long as you're doing proper maintenance, and that's keeping it energized on an annual basis at least. If you're using it, a hard drive heavy or an SSD heavy, within general realities, both products should give you a safe 5-year lifespan. And if you look at the warranties, they reflect that.
So we've established that the X12, which is an NVMe SSD, high speed, saturates Thunderbolt 5, brews coffee, slices bread, tucks you in bed at night. Okay, that's product one. What else have you done for me?
Well, essentially, you talk about that tucks in bed at night. When you have fast storage that's reliable, it actually means you have the chance to get sleep at night. So it actually kind of helps do that. And that's the tip. That's just one of the products we have at the show. Of course, we're showing our Envoy, which continues to be a leading Thunderbolt 5 portable solution. We also have our new Thunderbolt 5 Hub here, which the Thunderbolt 5 Hub is less about just having more ports in your computer. It's now, for the first time with Thunderbolt 5, you have so much bandwidth available. You can split up. You can take a single port and now have a couple displays and a high-speed storage device all through a single port and power from that hub, so you don't need an external adapter, and everything runs at full speed. With 40 gigabit systems, you really need to kind of strategize where you're going to connect devices, even displays, because the display, a 4K display even, will take a considerable chunk of that bandwidth away. So if you have a high-speed 40 gigabit storage solution and you put a display on the same bus, you actually impede on the performance of your storage. Long story short, now you're in a situation where you can connect the display and the data device, and there's plenty of bandwidth. So you're not going to plug a display in that suddenly, hogs the entire or hogs a big chunk of the lane.
Before we get too carried away talking about data, which is my absolute favorite subject, I want to hear about the Archive Pro Ethernet, because I think you've got something with that is unique, which is, well, tell me what it is.
We love it. Instead of having to connect through a Thunderbolt bus and be on a single machine, now you can connect your LTO with our Archive Pro LTO to your network and have network accessibility just like it's on your computer. I mean, plug and play, very easy access, and now you can back up to tape over a high-speed network.
See, what I like about that is I'm a big fan of LTO, but I could never afford it for a single user. But now this becomes an LTO for a work group that easily configures to be on the local network. There's got to be something, there's got to be a but there somewhere. Is it really that simple? It just plugs in and it's a network accessible device?
It is really that simple, and we give a lot of credit to Addo for the technology that they put into their side to make this all integrate and be possible. So very excited to have this product as another option in the array for LTO.
What's happening with SoftRAID?
SoftRAID continues just to get faster, cleaner, smoother. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was a real pain. I mean, going into 2020, 2021 with the new M1s, there was a lot of pain for a couple of years. I mean, there were a lot of bugs, not of our creation, I really should put out there, that had to be addressed and had to be worked through. But today, I mean, it is the fastest RAID for Mac. I mean, we have great partnerships with the suppliers like Toshiba to ensure you get that 1700 megabytes a second sustained data rates from an array. It's plug and play. It's interoperable with Windows. You can take a Mac volume, plug it into a Windows PC, and be able to share that data, access that data, directly edit, read, write. Without doing anything, when you plug a SoftRAID volume into a Mac, it shows up.
The drivers are built in?
Everything is there. At the end of the day, it is plug and play. It's always being updated. The latest, I mean, we always recommend updating to the latest Mac OS because there's always improvements and whatnot that, well, like I said, there's always little bugs and tweaks that make the experience better. 8.5 requires, for example, the new OS 15.4. So we're always evolving and moving things along nicely. But you should install SoftRAID and you should own SoftRAID for the support you get with that. The really advanced volume control, the data protection, and the data monitoring, the drive monitor, just the health monitoring that ensures that your data is safe. If you don't wish to buy SoftRAID, there's a free download that you can purchase and install it that gives you some of the basic functionality. But you don't need to, you don't actually have to pay for SoftRAID to have some of the benefits of SoftRAID. We certainly appreciate the support and provide benefits for actually having ownership of it. SoftRAID is virtually a flawless plug and play today, as opposed to, again, some of the challenges of years ago. We know, it was real painful for some of the customers, especially with specific Mac hardware. And it doesn't matter whose fault it is. And we understand that. And it's really, really incredible. Starting with OS 13.3, just how far it's come along to where this is really plug and play and no worries. So very, very excited for how much faster SoftRAID's become, how bug-free on all platforms, Intel and Apple Silicon it is. I mean, you just can't beat it.
What's the difference between Gemini and Thunderbay?
Gemini is a 2-bay solution that has an integrated dock. Thunderbay goes from 4 drives to 8 drives today and is really focused on data array.
Second question, difference between Jellyfish and Jupyter.
Jellyfish is highly optimized for video workflows. Jupyter's more general storage and is suitable for some lower-end video and absolutely ideal for audio production workflows. But Jellyfish is something that scales literally from terabytes into petabytes, can power small work groups all the way up into entire television stations. And both systems are built to be very, very user-friendly and not IT dependent.
For people that haven't owned or heard of OWC, what are your key benefits, key features that you want people to know?
OWC just works. And it's not that it just works. I mean, it's high performance. It's quality. It's built to be really the boring part of your workflow. And that's whether you buy one of our camera cars, one of our Thunderbays, one of our Envoys, even a Jellyfish system. These are designed and built so that you can focus on the work that you need to do without needing to have an IT team or worry about configuring things, or if there's different switches and buttons and settings. These solutions are built for you so that you can create and depend on the connectivity and the storage that connects everything that you do and stores everything you do. We know you can't lose your stuff. And neither can we. And that's how we build everything. And that's how our team supports.
Larry, thank you much.
Hey, always a pleasure, Larry.
Take care.
You too now.